Greetings and
I'm not
welcome
chasing the dragon named Alexander, and I resent that implication.
to episode 171 of the Words About Gamescast, a weekly video game podcast for words about games. I'm your host, Amy Alexander. I'm joined this week by Keith Robinson. You better believe I'm leaving that in.
Yeah. To be honest, it almost sounded like you said that you were Amy Alexandra. No,
It's possible.
I am Amy, a city in the.
It's possible. Like I write and speak aloud on this YouTube channel alone. Like what, 15,000 words a week? I get one or two of them wrong from time to time. That's not even including like Twitch and life.
Yeah. If I'm not at work, and I'm not doing this podcast, I speak maybe 50 words a day. So.
Well, I come around sometimes. You speak a lot of
Yeah.
words to me, and then we do D&D. You don't speak so much as I do in D&D. Where I'm just like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? How are you, Keith?
Yeah, I'm still with it. I'm still hip. I'm still relevant.
When have we ever been relevant? That's never been a thing, has it? Have we been relevant at any point in our time?
No.
Because that would be news to me.
Yeah.
I
was just saying relevant because I know what the first issue, like the first thing is on our podcast today, and it's the past. So
Is it?
Not
It's
really
the recent past. I mean, I just had to start the timer because I just realised I forgot. It's very white and it's now casting a bright white light down on me.
Amy is either about to be abducted or it's going to
I'm ascending. No, it's too soon. I haven't finished this podcast yet. I haven't seen Spider-Man. No! I played Hades.
Why haven't you?
To frustrate you, because it took you like 2 years of me going like, hey, you should watch Spider-Man Homecoming, and you being like, I'll get around to it.
Well, in my defense, it was because I'd missed that one in the cinemas, and then it was like impossible to find anywhere else because of licensing laws to stream it.
Streaming is silly. Like, it's so stupid sometimes. Where it's like, I remember the golden era of Netflix, right? Where they had Chuck, Fringe, Community. They had all these cool shows that I would like enjoy watching, and now they have none of them. And it's like, well, now I've got to buy them or rent them.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like,
mean, it could be with Disney has like hoarded everything until like November or something, and it's like, well, no one's allowed to stream the Force Awakens for another 2 years, so we can keep all of the IP for an our streaming service long.
because one day we're going to do our own streaming service. That's great and everything, but I want to watch Star Wars.
Yeah, I know.
like I want to watch Chuck, like I'm watching Chuck right now. But I'm getting the end of season 1, and it's like, do I pay for season 2 now? Like, can I afford to buy another season of Chuck on Amazon Prime?
Psst. You have a friend who has all the seasons of Chuck on DVD.
Ah, fucking man, right? My Xbox is here, right? And you can see where our bed is. Do you know how far, like, I have to keep getting up, changing the thing? Like, there's the distance, like, because I never use my controller wirelessly. So I've got to use my phone as a remote on the Xbox whenever I'm watching media. My phone signal's terrible, so it keeps cutting out. The Wi-Fi sucks. Like, what you're proposing is just like too much. It's like if I get it on Amazon, I just let the whole thing roll on.
I do though. And I just want to apologize for anyone who actually wanted to come here for some gaming information, because we appear to have just, snowballed off the side of the reservation. Like, off the off-ramp, down past the ditch, into the woods, still going.
I was talking about using my Xbox. So, maybe we're just previewing our new show. Anyway, for those that don't know, the Words About Gamescast is a weekly podcast where we discuss 5 stories centered around what's going on in games, gaming, and the industry. This week, I forgot to do the Keith doesn't know what the Words About Gamescast is joke. Should we start over? No. I have to do it twice next week, though. This week, we discuss the latest Nintendo-dominated NPD tracking results. Take-Two's CEO claiming the next generation consoles could achieve photorealistic graphics, Twitch's latest problems, the updates to the Borderlands 3 investigation into YouTube as Submano, and Epic Games' response to the call to remove the brute mech from the game, before we leave you with a list of games coming out this week. As always, there are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, so if you want to watch this podcast in any order, you want to skip bits, you want to watch the whole thing backwards, you can do whatever you want. It's cool. You're here, and that's what matters. Should we dive in? You can always tell it's a slow news week when we start with this. Okay, the NPD results for July came out like 2 days ago, which saved my ass because we're in a Gamescom style holding pattern. Like next week, we're gonna have so much to talk about. We're probably not gonna fit it all in the podcast.
I was surprised to see it on here because I thought there was like another story we were going to cover, but I'm happy to discuss the NPD. Are you?
I hate it when he does this because now it's like I've missed something and I'm gonna have anxiety about it. And he never messages me. Like, oh, did you see this? And I'll be like, no, I didn't. Shit.
I'm sure we discussed something about a grey market website claiming that it was created a year after it was.
That's a non-story. Don't worry about it. With all the updates, it's a closed loop. Like our discussion would have been, nah, that was weird, and then we would have moved on. It's a discussion podcast. It's not. We're not doing the 6 o'clock news with Amy and Keith. That'd be boring. We just sit and we just say the news back and forward. Because then we wouldn't have had a discussion about how shitty all the streaming services are. Keith, the top 10 best-selling games of July. Number 1, Madden NFL 20. And I'll get to why that irks me in a moment. If you saw the podcast 4 weeks ago, you might know why that irks me. Number 2, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Number 3, Super Mario Maker 2. Number 4, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Number 5, Minecraft. Number 6, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Why? Why? Are we going to get the PlayStation 5 and it's just going to be...
They're going to re-release it, man. 4K graphics on PS5 and Xbox Scarlet, and then it's going to be still just... Oh. It's going to be the first game to reach 200 million sales. Number 7, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 8, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 9, Mario Kart 8. And number 10, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Got a couple of notes here. The first one, which jumped out at me straight away before I even saw the note. 6 of the top 10 best-selling games of July were Nintendo Switch exclusives. Hence why I said it was Nintendo dominated. Fire Emblem 3 Houses saw the largest month sales in franchise history, tripling the previous bestseller Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valyria. It's also the second best-selling Fire Emblem game in franchise lifetime sales, second to the current bestseller Fire Emblem Awakenings. Fire Emblem had a really good launch.
I mean, there are two things which relate to that, which don't really connect to how good the game is, because I'm sure you'll be the first to admit that it's a really good...
I did. I made a video.
One of those things is Nintendo kind of knows when to release games.
Yeah,
it's not like that's not everything at the end of the year. It's like, oh, all these kids are on holiday for the summer. Let's release a game then. Because not everybody goes outside and play or goes to another country. And you can take the Switch with you. So you can still play those games even if you did go to another country.
Go on a plane, go on a boat, go on a bus.
Yeah.
You've got a Switch, just play it.
Just sitting in the back of the car, playing the...
Yeah, in the back of the car.
The second thing is the whole coming to the end of the console generation, beginning the new one. The release schedule for the two-horse race is slowing down a bit. So I'm surprised by how much they're dominating this one, but I understand why. It's not Grand Theft Auto 5. I understand why this is happening.
Well, the thing about it is yeah, they've released a game in the summer, right? So, like, guess what? There's nothing else to fucking buy. It was the same thing last month when they released Super Mario Maker 2, right? The only other thing about it was Crash Team Racing. Yeah. So they've released Fire Emblem and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and guess what? They're both top 10 bestsellers. Because pickings was slim in July. Okay, pickings was slim. Um, the Fire Emblem's done that thing what very few games manage to do, and I know I've talked about this on a podcast before, where people are talking about it beyond its launch weekend. So like,
Yeah.
I'm going on Twitter now. It's been like what came out on like the 26th of July, so it's been like 20 odd days or something. Like it's been a few weeks since this came out, and I'm still seeing all the Fire Emblem. People are sharing the videos. People are sharing the memes because there's fucking memes galore for Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it's one of those games that's endured, like Resident Evil 2. Like how for like a month after Resident Evil 2 came out in January, like you were still seeing all the Mr. X memes.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Part of it is because Fire Emblem Three Houses is an excellent game, and part of it is because it came out unopposed. Like, nothing came out around it. Wolfenstein came out around it. People stopped talking about that within like the weekend. Like it came out, like no one talks about it anymore. And it's really good. It's a really good game. What I'm irked about is the early release. The EA did it again with Madden, with the early release bollocks, and when we did our stupid little game that we're going to do at the end of this segment, and we were like, what's going to be the best selling new game? And we were both like, probably Fire Emblem. And it was, except it wasn't because of Madden. So one of Madden's release dates happened to be in July. And now it's the best selling game. Just have one release date for a game. Like Gears 5, I noticed, has done a thing where they're like, oh, if you've got Game Pass Ultimate, you could play the game like 5 days early. And it's like, no, if you've got Game Pass Ultimate, you can play the game when it comes out. If you haven't, you can play it 5 days late. That's the truth, not the marketing spin. And it's a bit irksome. And I have Game Pass Ultimate, so I'm going to be playing it 5 days early. And it's still like, it's still dumb. It was dumb for Anthem. I don't know what the discourse has been like for Madden, but it was dumb for Anthem, and it's going to be dumb for Gears 5. And Super Mario Maker 2 is at number 3, so that makes sense too, because it was like 4 days from the end of the month when it launched last time, so figured the sales would be strong rolling over into it, and it's another game that people are still talking about, well beyond its launch, which is cool. And then Grand Theft Auto 5. It's still a thing. It's still a thing. It's still one of the best-selling games every month. Red Dead Redemption 2.
It must be, at this point, the best-selling game of all time.
I believe it's the best-selling entertainment product of all time. I think it goes further than just being the best-selling game. I'm pretty sure. Like, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Or we can look it up and I'll do a correction next week, but I'm pretty sure it's the best-selling entertainment product ever. Like, not just game. The top 10 best-selling games yet hasn't changed. Except Madden NFL 20 is now in there at number 8. So whatever was at number 10, I don't remember what was at number 10 last month. That's dropped. It's gone. It's out. But I'll reread them just for anybody that doesn't remember the top 10. Number 1 is still Mortal Kombat 11. Number 2 is still Kingdom Hearts 3. Number 3 is The Division 2. And then you've got Anthem, Resident Evil 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Red Dead Redemption, Madden NFL 20, Days Gone, and MLB 19 The Show.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of notes on that. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is quickly approaching Super Smash Bros. Brawl as the best-selling fighting game of all time. Mortal Kombat 11 is now the second best-selling game in franchise history, second only to Mortal Kombat X, and it's now the 5th best-selling fighting game of all time. Can't really talk about anything there. Like, do you think Madden should have been higher, given that it's Madden? And those games are usually like best-selling games, or do you think it's just going to go up?
I'm looking at what's on there. It's like it's a little bit of a surprise that Madden hasn't overtaken. Well,
2 games from last year, right? Like,
yeah. I'm looking at the next game above it is Red Dead Redemption, not Resident Evil. Like I thought when I skimmed read that, and I'm like,
I mean, the thing about Red Dead 2 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate are both like just ahead of it. Those are both games from last year.
Yeah.
Like, I would have figured Madden would have at least come in above them. Like, but then I'm thinking it came out early. Like, I don't even know how. I tried to research it and I couldn't figure it out. I'm guessing it had something to do with EA access.
Yeah.
Then I don't know why the sales would count. It's a whole thing. It's weird. I don't understand it. But I'm getting like because it was an early thing and its official release date was the 2nd of August or something. Like I'm guessing it's gonna jump up.
Yeah.
Because I would have even thought it would have bounced Resident Evil 2. Just purely from because the charts are based on dollar sales, not sales figures. Like, and it's like twice the price. Like, I would have figured it would have gone past that, and it'll probably blitz Anthem. I would have thought. That would be my prediction for the year-to-date numbers next time, and maybe next time, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be the best-selling fighting game of all time. Even though Brawl was on the Wii, and the Wii had like 100 million plus consoles sold, which is kind of nuts when you think about it. You think about it in terms of the percentages of like how many people who own a Switch bought Ultimate and how many people who own a Wii bought Brawl. It's kind of crazy. So let's do the speculation game that I started last month. Which new release in August will be the best-selling game of the month? The main candidates, I guess, are Control, Astral Chain, Man of Medan, and Man in NFL 20. So I think this is a fairly easy one.
Madden?
I guess Madden.
Yeah, I'm guessing Madden. It's like, I love Control. I'm going to get it. But the marketing on it is nowhere be near like what you'd say for like Days Gone or anything. None of those games are. I've hit all of them. Man of Medan at the moment, I can't remember exactly what it is. I've seen less of that than I have Astral Chain, and like Control I know about because I saw like some stuff that I'm interested in. Popped about E3 twice. But I haven't seen big pushes on them. They're not the games I'm going to expect them to be the big hitting games of the year or anything.
Oh no.
I don't see them outpacing Madden if they roll figures together or whatever it is with a split release.
August is because there's tons more games coming out in August, but like I don't see any of them hitting at the NPD at all. Like Blair Witch, for example, is a digital only game. It's going to be in Game Pass, and it's going to be like £25 probably or something to buy it. Like I don't see that being like in the NPD, for example. And August is very much there's a lot of really cool looking games coming out, but it's very much this is the month where like the games industry is putting its foot down on the accelerator and speeding up, and then September is when we've hit top speed, and it's going to be a more interesting discussion of what could be the best selling game out of like like the games that are coming out. Because the best selling game of the year is probably going to be COD, because there's no Red Dead this year.
Again,
there's no Red Dead this year, so I can't get beat by that again. I mean, it could. That would be embarrassing, though. It's probably gonna be Madden. Like, Control's an outside chance for like a couple of percent because PlayStation have been doing the marketing for it. Astral Chain, I'd be surprised if it's in the top 10. Man of Medan, I don't know. Pricing, because it's an anthology game. I don't know what the pricing's like. I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know, so I don't want to say anything about that, but we'll find out next month. EA will probably release some fucking game 2 days early that'll jack us again. I mean that we're wrong. Like FIFA will come out like they're just supposed to come out in September. It'll come out like August 31st. and it'll just be at the top. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Let's move on. You can tell it's a new console generation coming up because the headlines are weirdly the same as they were in 2012. Take-Two CEO says next generation consoles could achieve photorealistic graphics. This is from Imran Khan over at Game Informer, who writes, with both new consoles in that phase where they have been technically announced but we haven't really seen anything in terms of software yet. We're still left guessing on how powerful Project Scarlet and what will presumably be called the PlayStation 5 might actually be. Take-Two's CEO, Strauss Zelnick, has presumably seen these new consoles and has come away impressed by their visual fidelity. The head of one of the world's most profitable game publishers thinks that next year's consoles might push games to a photorealistic milestone. Speaking on CNBC to analyst Jim Cramer, Zelnick commented on the next generation of video game consoles. Quote, "We have a new console generation coming, and that's going to allow us to do some things that we haven't been able to do before creatively, and that's exciting. But as I've said before, we're going to reach a point where you won't be able to tell the difference between what's created in the computer and what's real." End quote. Terrifying. Zelnick made sure to note that Take-Two would not necessarily be pursuing this idea with all of their games, pointing to Borderlands specifically and saying that would always stay an animated universe. For games like NBA 2K series, however, he is excited to make the games truly look live action. Thoughts?
I mean, when you say photorealistic games, they don't normally mean. There's like some playroom with the wording. It's so when you get to a cutscene and it like goes into it, it's like, I don't know, Quantum Break, or like when they had Kit Harington in Call of Duty. You've got these like cutscenes and stuff where it's like they're getting to the point where it looks like it's video captured, is what could be the same. But then when you get to the actual gameplay and stuff, it doesn't look photorealistic because you've still got to get all that on the screen at the same time without your machine just melting through your desk and through the floor.
Or just taking off, like, causing a nuclear explosion in your bedroom / sitting room / game room. Yeah, you're right. Like, this is just standard stuff. Like for a new console generation. Like, I remember before the PS2 came out, and it was like, PS2 is going to be so powerful. Like, games are going to look like Pixar movies. Like, was the thing back then. And when the PS3 was coming out, I remember the bull shots, as Penny Arcade ended up calling them, where it's like, this is what Madden's gonna look like, and then obviously the game comes out on the console and it's like, this is what it actually looks like, completely different. So it's like, we're just in that phase now where everybody's going to be hyping up the graphics. Are you that bothered by like photorealistic graphics?
In most things, it's not something that's going to come up. Also, may I say how good it is that it won't be photorealistic. I mean, you played Sekiro, right? You played Bloodborne. Can you imagine what that would be like photorealistic?
That'd be an experience for sure. Like, not meant Sekiro would be cool because it would be like, if Sekiro was photorealistic, yeah, sure, the combat, the samurais and stuff, but you'd also be wandering around like feudal Japan. That would be fucking amazing. Bloodborne, however, where you're wandering around like a fucking Lovecraftian inspired gothic nightmare.
Yeah.
And knowing what like those bosses look like, it's just like, oh wow, if that was photorealistic, I'd have nightmares forever. Like,
in the future, I can, if we keep doing this podcast for years to come, I can just see myself like to come out. And now we go back to 2019 for my argument on why we shouldn't build holodecks.
Yeah, and it's just, you don't even need just. And now we cut to some footage that, like, you know, it is an argument as to why we shouldn't build holodecks, and then it's just 10 minutes of Bloodborne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, that's fair. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm wearing a fucking Cadence of Hyrule t-shirt right now. Like, for anyone who's not watching the screen, and it's just like, that game was amazing. I mean, that game's not photorealistic. If it was, it'd be weird. Like,
yeah,
fucking, I think of the best games of like the last few years, and like, sure, there's like God of War, which looked amazing, like absolutely incredible, and was a fantastic game. But like, of like games that I think about, I'm thinking like, I mean, Persona 5, right? Like, look at the art style of that game. It was a beautiful game. It was nowhere near photorealistic, and like, we've seen what happens when studios push graphics above all else. I recall games from the beginning of this generation, like The Order 1886, Does anyone remember the Order 1886? No one's talked about it for years.
When you remind me, yes.
Yeah, but you don't think about it because it was a nothing game, and it looked in fucking mind-blowingly incredible, like
Yeah.
in how good it looked. But it was a 4-hour tech demo, like essentially. Like no one thinks about that game anymore because it just wasn't a very good game. Like so, like graphics are cool and everything, but let's make games. Like let's make sure when we're pushing consoles to their limit, like when we made Halo 4 and those cutscenes looked outstandingly good for an Xbox 360. Let's make
Yeah.
sure the game that's attached to it is also, good. Like that would be nice. Like let's not can we just go one console generation without having like a year or like 18 months of just shitty games that look amazing but
Mhm.
aren't very good. That'd be cool. I'd like that.
Yeah.
That would be enjoyable. Like makes like covering games really fucking depressing.
I mean, when the games come out, we'll be getting stuff like we'll have stuff from like the end of this generation of the world, like Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, but I mean that's still gonna have come out months and months before
Yeah.
the two consoles. Theoretically, I mean
Well,
we don't know if
theoretically,
PS5 is coming out.
we don't know when the episodes are coming out.
Yeah, like I mean the Final Fantasy VII remake like looks fantastic. It's gonna be months ahead of. I'm nailing my flag to mast and saying the PS5 is gonna come out in the holiday season as well. Um, Even though like I suppose it could come out in like March. I don't think it will. So like this generation's gone out with a bang, if anything. Um, yeah, I don't know graphics, man. Like I don't really care.
Yeah.
Tell me about how like the next generation consoles are gonna let you like do cool stuff with like AI, like make AI smarter in terms of like like combat games, like fighting, like shooting games, where it's like like remember like remember the Halo games where like you turn the difficulty up and the AI got smarter. It wasn't just a case of they just took more bullets to kill. Like the AI started like flanking you and doing all this shit, like or Alien Isolation, where it was like you were being hunted by an alien. It wasn't walking predetermined paths and you just had to sneak around it. It was like it was hunting you. Like, tell me about how like more games are doing shit like that. That'd be cool. You talk about graphics, I'm just like, I just shrug. I'm like me, whatever. Meh. Game I've played the most this year is Fire Emblem. It's an anime game. Looks like anime. Also, the distinguishing thing from live, real life, it's never gonna happen because you're never gonna nail the eyes. Like I feel like we've been down this road with all these games, like graphically intense games, and it's like you never get the eyes right. Like they've done a really good job with they've done a really good job with faces, like capturing facial expressions and stuff. But then you look into their eyes and they're just dead. So.
Those dead, cold eyes.
And then you play a Bethesda game and it's like, no, that's a horror game. Like Fallout and shit. Like.
Where's the face? I mean, the eyeballs are there, the lips are there, the back of the head's there. But...
I mean, let's not get started on Assassin's Creed. Ah! Oh my god, she's kissing it. She's kissing it. Do you even want to add about graphics and shit? If you made a non-verbal thing there, I was looking up the timer. I didn't see it.
No, I was like, I did find it ironic that the connection on my end was so bad that you were slightly roboted and pixelated until we got to the end of that discussion for like 3 minutes. I'm sitting there thinking, well, we need to pause after this one and restart. Then when we were like, and that was kind of my fault, it all cleared up and now I'm back in the green. You're unpixelated and you're unroboted.
It's because I'm talking shit about graphics. Straselnik's like somehow like tapped in. And he was just like, nah, fuck this. Like, beep. It's fine on my end, so. My opinions will still get out, and you're just sort of sitting there like, I know. Like, I'm sure she's making good points, so I'll just not say anything. Should we move on?
They'll make you out, yeah. I'm used to your robot voice.
Robot activate. Number 3. It's been a terrible week for Twitch. been a terrible year for Twitch. This is from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer, who writes, after Tyler Ninja Blevins left Twitch for rival platform Mixer some amount of days ago, visitors to his channel were redirected to a variety of other Fortnite streams. And one stream in particular got Twitch into serious trouble. Last week, Blevins tweeted a video criticising how Twitch had turned his channel into an ad page, and one of the promoted streams was a porn broadcast. Quote, I've been streaming for 8 years to build that brand and build that channel. There was a porn account that was number one recommended on my channel, and I have not seen any of this stuff, end quote. Understandably upset, Blevins called for the adverts and his entire channel to be removed, which Twitch has partially granted, having removed all the advertised streams from his channel. While the promotion of porn was unintentional on Twitch's part, the platform's failure to remove the NSFW stream and its quick promotion on Ninja's channel thanks to Twitch's algorithms was an obvious cock-up, and Twitch's CEO Emmett Shear has apologised to Blevins on Twitter. Quote, our community comes to Twitch looking for live content. To help ensure they find great live channels, we've been experimenting with showing recommended content across Twitch, including on streamers' pages that are offline. This helps all streamers as it creates new community connections. However, the lewd content that appeared on the Ninja offline channel page grossly violates our terms of service, and we've permanently suspended the account in question. Fucking hope so. On a more personal note, I want to apologise directly to Ninja that this happened. It wasn't our intent, but it should not have happened. No excuses. End quote. Despite the apology, many in the Twitch community remain unhappy with the company, highlighting another ongoing controversy surrounding streamer Alinity Divine, who's been accused of dropping a racial slur on stream. Divine claims the slur was a result of a mispronunciation, but the streamer has also been criticised for throwing her cat mid-broadcast, and in a separate incident, spitting vodka into a cat's mouth. Users are unhappy that she has so far received no negative consequences, with one petition calling for it to be banned, receiving 46,000 signatures. Only a few weeks ago, Dr. Disrespect, real name Guy Beam, was temporarily banned for streaming himself in an E3 bathroom, a punishment that lasted a mere 2 weeks. Blevins, similarly, at one point said the N-word and was only required to apologise. Both events raise questions about how Twitch enforces its terms and conditions, with some accusing Twitch of giving popular streamers preferential treatment. Thoughts?
Emma Kent?
Emma Kent.
I saw what you did there.
What do you want to talk about?
It's like we use the word cock up when referring to porn within.
Oh, I had no idea. Certainly not why I chose Eurogamer's take on this story.
Sure, Amy. Sure. Yeah. I think that the idea that Twitch gives preferential treatment to large, you don't call them YouTubers on Twitch. Streamers
is...
Yeah, large streaming bases. Sure. Yeah, of course they do. What Dr. Disrespect did could get him arrested in quite a few countries. I'm not saying you get put to jail, but I'm fairly sure what he did would require him to sign a register in the United Kingdom. Because there was a 10-year-old in one of the bathrooms at the time.
Yes, I do remember.
Yes.
Did we do this on the podcast, or did we
skip
it? We did
cover this on the podcast, and I remember going on about Penny Arcade's reaction because, that sort of stuff isn't funny, and it makes people concerned, like, to bring their children, like, the cons and stuff.
Yeah.
When that sort of shit happened. So we covered it. We covered our things, like, it was a major lapse in judgment on his part. But yeah, it's like, that I do hear, like, on, like, you see on Twitter and stuff, people going on about the, like, terms and conditions and the rules and stuff on Twitter, and you hear about, like, them being, like, so strict in, like, X and Y regard, and then you hear all the outrage when, like, big names get no punishment when they mess up because they want to keep that ad revenue there.
Yeah, I mean, like, Dr. Disrespect makes money, right? Like, gotta have that money. Gotta have that. Those Prime numbers, like, those ad revenues. I mean, you subscribe. I don't know for a fact, like, Dr. Disrespect and Ninja, like, big streamers, will have, like, a completely different, like, setup to this. But, like, you subscribe to someone on Twitch for $5.99.
Mm.
and I get a lot less than that from that subscription. Like, let's just put it that way. I can tell you exactly how much, but I'm not sure about talking about specifics. But yeah, it's like, yeah, they make a lot of money off of the big streamers, like Dr. Disrespect. 2 weeks of streaming in a bathroom with a kid in it, like, yeah, whatever. Slap on the wrist, right? Like, it's weird though, like, because I don't think I've ever seen all of this put in front of me before. Like, obviously, when we didn't do the whole Ninja went to Mixer because, like, why would we? Also, it was a crazy week last week. Like, it's quite funny. Like, just as a side note on a tangent, like, a lot of my streaming friends have started doing Mixer now. Like, it's like a lot of people are sort of following him to that, following Ninja's footsteps almost, which I find amusing and a little weird.
Yeah.
But who might judge? I barely stream as it is anyway. There was a point. Yeah, like, to just see it all put in front of me. The thing with the porn and, like, Twitch, and then the thing with this other streamer who's, like, chucking a cat around on a stream at, like, one point, and then all the racial slurs. I mean, the racial slurs thing we've known about for ages. Like, everybody's fucking done that, it feels like. PewDiePie did it. Ninja did it. Like, it's no big deal. So, like, people are pissed, right? Like, so, like, every time something like this happens, there's a bunch of people who are just, like, calling Twitch out on their bullshit, like, regardless of whether they're Ninja viewers or Alinity Divine viewers or Dr. Disrespect viewers, because there's people who just, like, had enough of that crap. Like, I've never been banned from Twitch or suspended from Twitch. I know someone who was. They managed to legally purchase a copy of Resident Evil 7 X amount of days early and stream it, because they got a copy of the fucking game, and it was like a few days, I think, before it was due to come out. They didn't get a review code. They didn't sign any kind of thing with Capcom. Like, like, if I get a review code for a game, there's an embargo. Like, and I can't stream before that embargo. But, like, my friend didn't get a review code, so he didn't have an embargo. So he's like, fucking, I'm gonna stream this because I'm gonna get a fucking shitload of people watching this stream. And when he did, and then Capcom went to Twitch and banned him. Like, he got banned for like a week because he was streaming Resident Evil 7, even though there was no contract signed or embargo he'd signed up for. It was like, no, you can't do that because the game's not out yet. You're breaking the embargo that you never signed up to. Like, so Twitch is full of, like, little bullshit like that, where, like, if the same circumstances had happened to Ninja, like, would Ninja have been banned from Twitch for a week? I doubt it. But, yeah, it's a bit, like, double standardy, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And the porn thing is just really stupid. Like, that was obviously going to happen, right? Like, Ninja's got a bajillion followers on Twitch. And they were like, oh, you know what we can do with Ninja's page? We'll advertise Fortnite streams on it. And, like, no one... I got to imagine, right? Come with me on this journey, Keith. Like, I got to imagine this idea came in a room full of people. Like, it wasn't just one person. This is a room full of people at Twitch. And they're like, okay, we're going to give our, like, most followed page on Twitch to highlight other streamers to try and, like, stop people going from Twitch to Mixer to, like, push them out into the wider Twitch community, right? It seems like a really cool idea. Mm-hmm. Not one person in that room went, hang on a minute, the last time we had this unattended thing was this artifact game. Like, maybe people will try and game this in some way, like
same
they
way
did
they
in
did
the past.
The artifact game.
Like, so badly that they had to suspend, like, new accounts from Twitch streaming, like, for 48 hours. Like, I don't know. Like, they've come out and apologized, which is, like, fair play to them. I mean, they definitely needed to, but I feel like there's ways that this could have been avoided. quite easily. Yeah, maybe it's just a point in like do more moderation in these things. Maybe like give streamers some guidelines. Don't say these words. Don't get your cock out. Don't go in that bathroom with a camera.
I mean, some of that is on there anyway, and we know Mixer had a whole dress.
We know about Mixer's dress code. Yes. That's why we don't stream on Mixer. I mean, it's not. We don't. But if I say it is, it's a funny joke. I've just managed to get used to Twitch. What the fuck would I do on Mixer? Should we move on?
Yep.
Number 4. It's a follow-up from last week. Borderlands 3 YouTuber's channel disappears amidst Take-Two investigation over leaks. This is also from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer. You may notice that of all the credited stories, they were only actually credited to 2 people. Earlier this month, the Borderlands 3 community was in uproar after YouTuber Matt Summers, a prominent Borderlands content creator, published a video claiming Take-Two had sent private investigators to his house over Borderlands 3 leaks covered on his channel. Take-Two confirmed it was investigating Summers for profiting from breaking their policies and illegal activities, leading to arguments on social media over Summers' innocence and the Boycott Borderlands 3 hashtag. The latest development in this story is that Summers' channel has simply disappeared. Last week, several Reddit users reported seeing a number of copyright strikes on Submatter's channel, which YouTube said were from Borderlands 3 publisher 2K Games. I took a look at the community page myself, and there were a lot. At the time, it was unclear whether these had been filed after Submatter's video on Take-Two's investigation, but given YouTube's terms and conditions state there's a 7-day grace period, this suggests the claims were made on Thursday, while Summer's video was published on the Tuesday. It seems likely that this was the cause of the channel shutdown, although the exact number of strikes on Submatter's channel remains disputed. Eurogamer contacted 2K last week for comment on the copyright strikes, but received the same statement as previously issued, so I decided not to add it because we went through that statement last week. Thoughts? The number of copyright claims was over 100.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't an insubstantial amount of claims, because it only takes 3 to shut a channel down. Like,
I remember when we used to talk about YouTube all the time when it came to streaming. Yeah, you can only fight X amount, and if you fight, yada yada.
If you fought, it became a strike, and then if you'd have to get it cleared, it was a whole thing. Like,
yeah.
If you get 100 at once, I mean,
yeah. Apparently, you're just
screwed. Like, if you get 3 copyright strikes at once, you have to fight them, or lose your channel. Like, that's it. It's game over. Like, so like 100 plus from 2K Games, will do. That'll do the job. Like, that'll do the trick. That will kill your channel dead.
Yeah.
Which seems to be the aim of what happened.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question.
They're going after this with a vengeance, really.
Yeah, vengeance might be the operative word here. Let me ask you this question. To get right into the weeds of it. Is this blatant misuse of copyright law? Specifically. Because copyright strikes are designed to protect people's copyright.
It's unclear because we still don't, I mean, we've got 2 different claims here. One, that he has like breached the security, and you know, because last week there was the whole thing about where they claimed that he'd done something on Twitch, so he could access data which was privileged in data, and he was claiming no, it was set public, so I'm perfectly in my right to show this, review this, like release it. If what they've done here is basically go right, each of these articles on this like video, this video is material we didn't want in the public domain and copyrighted those videos to take them down. And yeah, 100. It doesn't say how many per video, does it?
No. You could probably
100
count,
seems
but
really excessive. But they could have just gone through, highlighted everything, and then like, in each maybe there was 30 claims on one video or something, or like 5 on one. If it's entirely possible that they're legitimately just trying to take down all of those videos and not care in the slightest that's taking down this YouTuber, because I don't think they would care especially if they think they're in the right, that this was definitely private material, confidential material, which has been leaked by this person, and they've started an investigation because they think it is. They think that there's someone in the company who's given them this information. If it turns out, yes, that's what happened, that this YouTuber is getting privileged information that he shouldn't have had access to by someone from the company, are they in the right for taking down, putting all these copyright claims up there? Probably. I mean, just because someone's making a game that you want to play doesn't give you a right to that material beforehand. On the flip side, if this guy has entirely managed to gain access because there was a mess up on Twitch's side, or someone forgot to hit the private setting and it was broadcast publicly, this is way this isn't his fault that someone else messed up, and it's really bad for that person.
Yeah, because the only person who's losing.
Going back 2 years, we were hammering on nearly every other week about YouTube and its copyright claims and how the system could be abused like anything. You brought up Jim Sterling on a number of accounts where people were using punitively. And then there was that, I can't remember, that developer who's now banned from Valve. They did it a lot as well, I think. They put massive erroneous numbers of claims in.
Yeah, I mean, you see developers do it. There's a clear path between a developer did this because they were trying to, this video was negative, as opposed to, all these other videos that they didn't copyright claim because they're singing the praises of the game. Or because they just didn't like someone sometimes. You see that happen. That happens. It probably still happens. It's just not as much in the public eye anymore. To your point about 2K games, this is why I keep saying that, none of these companies are your friend. Not one of them. They want these videos gone, they will take them down. Don't think that any other company wouldn't do the same thing if they felt like they needed to be if they felt like they were in the right. Nintendo would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Nintendo is very litigious when it comes to that.
Even the beloved companies would do it. CD Projekt Red would do it without even thinking about it, because none of these companies are your friends, and we need to get that through our heads sometimes. But I guess I guess I get where you're coming from, but I guess the question I'm trying to drive at is, it specifically a copyright issue? Because the copyright system on YouTube, it's designed for one very specific purpose, and they don't want the information and the videos out there, and maybe Submato got to it how Submato said he did, or maybe he got to it how 2K and Take-Two say he did, or maybe it's somewhere in the middle, which is probably where the truth lies. But is it specifically a copyright issue? Because what we do videos on leaks all the time. We probably talked about Borderlands leaks back when there were Borderlands leaks. Because that's a big game. We don't talk about every leak. We're just talking about Plants vs. Zombies because it's we'll wait until next week when it's revealed. But, what is that, why haven't TK gone after everyone who would leak stuff? I guess is what I'm getting at. I don't know if it's necessarily I think they're using the wrong tool for the job, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, a sledgehammer for a walnut sort of thing.
This isn't a copyright issue. It's an issue, and it might be a legality issue, but it's not necessarily a copyright issue.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the copyright for any visual medium that he may have used. If he's used images of things from the game, like footage or soundtrack from like the game, which hasn't been released yet, it could be considered copyright. Neither of us are copyright lawyers.
But then the problem is, I mean, I've unfortunately learned a lot about copyright in the past few years. But then you reach the point of, well, why isn't it happening to other channels like who use Borderlands footage? Like, we do a podcast which is just talking heads, but like, let's say
Yeah.
like Borderlands 3 leaks, and someone's doing a video. Someone does things where it's like a single person talking to camera on a video, and it's just the footage over the top of that, and it's like, oh look, check it out, like Borderlands 3 leaked. Here's all this stuff. Like, how come that YouTuber doesn't get a billion copyright strikes? I guess is my point. Like, I get why the copyright thing exists, and I get why. As much as I disagree with like how it's used a lot, like I get why it's so weighted in the direction of the company. Like, as much as it sucks that it is, like I get why, because otherwise YouTube couldn't operate the way that it operates. Um, but at the same time, I guess like it's just a case of, like I said, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that even if Submato got all this information in the way that 2K is describing it, I don't think they've used the right tool here, and I don't think they've ingratiated themselves to a lot of people by doing this.
I'm thinking back then. It's like, unless YouTube's changed an awful lot in the last like couple of years since last covered this, is there any other way that they could have done this? I mean, they're pretty much an automated system, isn't it? YouTube for videos.
I imagine YouTube. I mean, YouTube has to have something set up for other like legal issues, right? Like, there has to be a way that 2K Games, a massive company, can contact YouTube, run by Google, another massive company, and say, look, this is a legal issue. You need to take these videos down. And for them to be taken down, they don't like, so you're not using the copyright thing when there's no copyright
Yeah.
infringement. Like, I would have to think that those channels exist.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about those channels and like how they would work, and if it would probably be real easy just for them to just do what they did, as opposed to get their like legal department to contact YouTube's legal department and like persuade them to take down video content.
The way you said persuade there was really ominous.
Yeah, well, if it's like it would be between legal departments. So you just know it wouldn't just be a short email saying, "Listen, we've got this person being investigated under investigation. Can you take these videos down?" It would be further to. It would be block paragraphs which reference other sections of it.
Well, to quote the great prophet Keith Robinson, the only people who wins in these situations are the lawyers.
Yeah, it's probably why they would. 2K is like, okay, so it would cost us how much to do it by like lawyers? About 50,000 an hour. And how many hours? About 130.
The thing that
How
I
much
don't
would it be
get,
to keep hitting these buttons on every video?
the thing that I don't, yeah, just get like some interns to do it, and it costs you nothing. The thing I don't get about like this is like the leaks that Submatter went through, like the Borderlands leaks, and obviously I don't know the details of all of them. I remember them, and I remember them happening. It's like did they cost? Did those leaks really cost 2K Games that much? Did it cost them anything? Like, did people look at those leaks and go, "Well, now I'm not buying Borderlands 3, a game I didn't know existed until right this second"?
Okay, so let's just preface the next minute or two with allegedly. And I'm going to take an imaginary puff on a cigarette.
It's gonna be good.
So hear me out. Borderlands 3. Everyone's talking about, that guy we've confiscate the phone from and what he's been getting up to with, like, voice actors and hotel lobbies. So we need a smoke screen.
But they couldn't have. They couldn't have made a positive smoke screen. Like, I get where you're coming from, but this just adds to the pile, right?
I'm legitimately not saying that's what happened.
I know.
That's me doing a funny bit.
I know.
But just to go off something the manager once told me, which is you need 10 pieces of good news. So if we have 10 pieces of good news and one piece of bad news, the bad news will go further. You need like 10 bits of like really good, great positive feedback to outweigh that one negative comment, because people will gripe more than they'll praise. And this is a really sucky thing.
Not on this channel.
But it is kind of true.
We try it.
And I'm sure it really sucks at all the people working on Borderlands 3.
Yeah, man, there's all these really cool
this
devs.
Is all that they're hearing. It's like, oh, one of the bosses is on another fight on Twitter or someone. Another fight was going on another Twitter. Wait, what we did? What's happened? Oh, it's on my work week. Okay, wait, we're doing what? Does the YouTube investigate? Wait. Yeah. Okay, his channel's gone now. Okay, this. Can we just talk about the game, please? Because we worked really hard on this. Yeah. It's like it's a beautiful artwork, and then you. No, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it does suck that like the work of the developers gets lost in this, like this whole thing. Because I mean, you break it down, like Gearbox and 2K like haven't had a great time. Like no one's talking about, very few people are talking about Borderlands 3, like the game itself, except to say, "Ooh, I don't know if I want to play this anymore," or "Ooh, boycott Borderlands 3." Like I guarantee the game's still going to sell really well, like regardless. But like it's like I'm looking at everything, this big pile that was just referenced, and I'm like, do I even want to play this game that badly? Like for all this stuff that's happened, and it's like, but then it's like the game devs, the people who made the game, they're not Randy Pitchford, they're not the 2K legal department. They didn't leave a thumb drive with alleged underage pornography on it in a fucking restaurant. They didn't start a fist fight with a fucking voice actor in a hotel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's nothing to do with them or necessarily the game, but it tars the game. Like, all the same. And I'm sure we'll be back to talking about this again in a few weeks' time when the game comes out. What's Randy gonna do next? Don't know, but I'm interested to find out.
Has anyone checked on him? Because we haven't heard on him for a while.
No, I don't think he's tweeting very much. I think he's finally figured it out, or they finally took his phone off him. They changed his password on his Twitter for like, just stop. It's actually just an intern running his account at this point. Number 5, Epic won't remove Mech from Fortnite because it gives anyone a chance to win. This is from Imran Khan over at Game Informer, who writes, since Season 10... This game is still in early access, I just want to point out. Since Season 10 debuted in Fortnite with a battle between a mecha and a kaiju, mechs have become a bit of a thing in the game's Battle Royale mode. This hasn't been to everyone's taste, however, as whoever gets access to the brute mech tends to rack up kills in a way that seems pretty unbalanced, and the player base has responded, asking Epic to remove it. It turns out that overpowered dynamic is exactly what Epic had in mind when they designed it. Amidst a hashtag asking Epic to rescind the brute, known simply as remove the mech, the developer has felt the need to explain their reasoning about it and thus posted a new blog post. I'm going to read the whole thing. Quote, we've heard the frequent discussions about the brute, and decided this would be a good opportunity to explain the Fortnite philosophy. The mission of Fortnite is to bring players of all skill levels together and have a fun experience where anyone can win. For example, having a shot at that first elimination or victory royale moment and the satisfying feeling that comes with it. Right now, we know there are players out there who have never had that opportunity. Another part of the mission is to provide spectacle and entertainment when playing Fortnite. Bringing these moments to the game every week means there is always a new way to enjoy and experience the game. The Brute was added at the start of Season 10 with this mission in mind. Since then, we have seen players who had previously struggled with getting eliminations acquiring more, while the number of eliminations earned by more experienced players remained steady. Brute encounters should feel like a unique engagement and not be the dominant experience during a game. We made adjustments to the Brute within Arena in line with that goal. Specifically for Arena, we made the change to spawn right in order to reduce late game encounters. Blah blah blah. End blog post. Back to the news story. We regularly have and will continue... No, this is... I just didn't italicize this. This is still part of the blog post, my apologies. We regularly have and will continue to release content that shakes up gameplay in Fortnite in unexpected ways, and we're committed to providing a constantly evolving, entertaining, and fun experience to all players. End blog post. Thoughts? Confused why there's a Fortnite story in our podcast?
I mean, I had heard of the brute mech, but only because someone was that's tangential. I have heard of the mech.
Tangential's fine, you know. We can do.
Yeah, I'm just like normally when people are going on about like balancing, like their games balancing their multiplayer, giving it an even playing field, or they're saying they're giving it an even playing field because we know there's the whole pay to win mechanic. This just sounds like utter randomized chaos. And they're saying yes, it is just utter randomized chaos, and I'm like, did this come from the caffeine overloaded, sleep deprived mind of one of the developers when they think, let's just throw everything out the window for a season and just have this
as you know, I don't really play Fortnite. In fact, as you know, because you were there the only time I did play Fortnite, when we did it for the charity stream 2 years ago. When it was like the weekend it came out. Like I don't play Fortnite, but it's impossible to exist as a person who follows games and not hear everything that goes on in Fortnite. Like the mecha battle versus the kaiju was really cool. Like I enjoyed that battle. I didn't see the battle. I wasn't in the game. I wasn't playing the game, but I've still seen it. Sorry, I should say, like because I follow games people, and they were like, "This is really cool," and I was like, "That was actually really cool." Like I don't know, like I guess I just want to have a discussion about Epic, basically, as you said, like people going, "This just sounds like random chaos," and Epic coming out and saying, "Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's how we've designed this game. That's our entire design philosophy." Like. It's not designed around being a perfectly fine-tuned, balanced multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
It's designed around being fun.
Yeah. This is Fortnite.
This isn't Overwatch where you're like constantly releasing balance patches to make sure that like heroes are balanced against each other. This is Fortnite where we want people to have fun. And we've gone and we've looked at our data and we've seen a bunch of people who play Fortnite but aren't having as much fun because they're not getting very many kills. So we went, here's a mech. And now those people are probably having more fun. I love that design philosophy. Like, I think it's great. Like, to just be like, look, we just want people to have a blast. Like, cool. Yeah. Fucking awesome. Brilliant. Love it. Like, that whole philosophy. And I love the fact that they just responded to what I'm sure was a not insignificant Twitter backlash. And just went, thanks for the feedback, guys. We're not changing a thing. Like, it's refreshing to see them not see a game developer not or publisher not scrambling around trying to like appease the shouty people on the internet. And again,
let's be fair. If Epic tried to do that, they would close their store.
I mean, yeah, they're used to shouty people on the internet.
Yeah.
Again, this comes from someone who doesn't play Fortnite. I don't like building mechanics in the game. Like I couldn't. Like it takes all of my mental focus to shoot people. Like, and then you're asking me to build like towers and shit. I'm like, okay, too many things for me at once.
Mm-hmm.
But it just looks like a fun game, and I know people who've played like thousands of hours of Fortnite. I just really like this. I really like the whole, like, it's our game. We'll design it in a specific way. The approach just speaks to me. Like, as someone who's basically done that with their YouTube channel. Just been like, my channel, I'll do whatever the fuck I want on it. Like
random chaos.
Random chaos. Well, it's not random chaos. I might add a goal for our charity thing, which is Amy plays Fortnite. If we hit a certain amount of money. I've not played it since it came out. Like, I mean, it came out in early access. Still says that on the thing when you're loading screen. Early
Yeah.
access version. I'm like, dude, you've been going for like 10 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking it's like
That's
I
10
remember
battle
you
passes.
playing MechWarrior Online for like 2.5 years, and the stealth came out of beta.
I mean, these guys haven't though. Like, that's the thing. It's still in beta, despite all the battle passes and success
Yeah,
and World Cups and conventions, and uh,
yeah.
it's still in early access. That's good for you. Give your developers a break. Should we? Should we move on?
Yeah.
Games out this week. Take it away.
So, on August the 20th, we have 3 different games coming out. We have Remnant from the Ashes coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Then we have Hunt Showdown, official launch, coming on PC and Xbox One. Then we have Rad. Surfer Dudes? I don't know.
Rad.
PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. That's all on August 20th. And then we have Onanaki on PC, PS4, and Switch on August the 22nd. And Life is Strange 2, Episode 4, which is coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox.
Woo! This is starting. It's starting. To continue my analogy from earlier on, foot is going down on the accelerator pedal.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen. I can't wait for Onanaki. Like, here's what I'm expecting from Onanaki, because it's Tokyo RPG Factory, right? They made I Am Setsuna. They made Lost Sphere. Both of those JRPGs were decent. They were pretty decent. The music in I Am Setsuna was fantastic. The games themselves pretty decent. That's what I'm expecting from this. Like, the Tokyo RPG Factory games are like they're like the JRPGs I go to when I'm like junk food, right? Like, you don't always eat the prime rib or the best steak or go to the restaurant. Sometimes you just go to KFC or you just go to Burger King. And that's kind of what Tokyo RPG Factory is. It's not the £20 steak in a fancy restaurant that Fire Emblem is. It's the McDonald's cheeseburger. And there's nothing wrong with the McDonald's cheeseburger. If you ate steak all the time, that's probably not good for you. Don't do that.
No. I'm just thinking that the McDonald's cheeseburger isn't good for you. But that's just an analogy. This isn't actually going to like congeal your artery.
Well, I mean, you never know, I guess. Hey, I snack when I play long games. It's just a fact. Also, to answer your question, Rad, it's a post-apocalyptic thing. I think
I figured it would be bad as the measurement of,
awesome.
atomic decay, as opposed to, hey, Rad, zinc oxide on the nose, surfboard under. That's totally 90s.
I mean, it is rad in terms of like, hey, rad, like rad, awesome. But yeah, rad is in radiation. I think it's the Double Fine game, but I can't remember specifically if it is a Double Fine game or not. Remember from the Ashes is a game I don't think I'm gonna play, but it seems like a game I would enjoy if I did. But I don't know if I'm gonna have time, like, which kind of sucks.
It is by Double Fine.
Cool. And Life is Strange, I'm waiting until the last episode comes out, and I'm just gonna blow through all 5 because I haven't played any of it yet, and I'm over the episodic release model. Like, it was great when The Walking Dead season 1 was a thing.
Yeah.
And then pretty much from The Wolf Among Us on, like, I've always waited to buy the whole season all at once. Like, I remember when Life is Strange, the first one came out, I bought it watching the Game Awards because they had the sale on. And I got like 50% off or some shit. Played it the next day. It was amazing. Glad I didn't have to wait like months between episodes though, because I'm just done with that now. It's weird how we all collectively moved on as like a community, like from episodic game releases. Like, it was a big deal when Telltale was at the height of their power with The Walking Dead. And then we all just collectively moved on at the same time. It was very strange.
And then Final Fantasy VII is starting to bring it back.
I mean, there is something to be said about a fucking episodic game release where the episodes are like 60 hours. Like, they're talking about Final Fantasy VII gonna be like 60 to 80 hours of gameplay. Like, it's a full on, like, full JRPG.
Yeah.
Which worries me because they're adapting a section of the game that, like, takes like 5 hours. Like, and they're making it a full game. And it's like, what have you put in this game that's going to extend its life by 50 hours?
It's like, well, there's 2 hours on the slot machines and like the 7-7. Wait, what?
Well, I mean, I'm using 5 hours as a ballpark. Like, first time through, it might be a bit longer. I think when I streamed the game, I got out of Midgar in one stream, so about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like, but I obviously knew what I was doing when I was doing that. But, like, wow. They're doing Midgar, and it's going to take 60 hours. That's crazy.
They are, and they're tendency to inflate.
You're going to have to... Hold on. Stop. You're frozen. I think your computer's lost the internet again. This is awkward. I'm going to cut this. He's definitely gone. 100% has just his internet's just died. I'm trying to hold on in case he comes back, but it doesn't look like he's coming back. So I might just have to end the podcast. Like, with him, like, with his hands all wavy and stuff. Thank you very much for watching episode 171 of the Words About Gamescast. It's been a blast. We're going to go now. I'd say bye, Keith, but... Oh, there he is. He's there. He's unfrozen. What was your Final Fantasy VII point? I was very interested to know what it was. And you just went...
My Final Fantasy VII point... They always inflate these numbers.
It's dev math. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, to take an actual, like, Destiny with the places and get 45 minutes of additional content. And when the missions came out, it was like an instant, which on average people would go through within 15 minutes, and people were speed running less than 5. So 60 hours, maybe not like.
Yeah, but you're still looking at like 40 hours again.
But that's still a lot of additional content. I mean, we get to know and love people like Jesse and stuff. Spoilers. Before we go up that tower, and it's like all goes horribly.
We're definitely gonna say bye now. You just managed to get that out, but I'm guessing you've you've started downloading something or something. Thank you very much for watching. Say bye, Keith.
Bye.